Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If we're meeting for the first time, I'm Liam. I've spent over 12 years helping travelers plan trips they feel excited and confident about. And the best part of my job has always been the conversations, your stories, your questions, your experiences. They always brighten my day. Now, let me start with something you've probably felt yourself, because I know I have. Do you feel those airplane seats squeezing you tighter every year? That's not aging making you feel cramped. It's cold, hard engineering designed to maximize airline profits at your physical expense. Seat width has plummeted from 19 to 20 inches in the 1980s down to a suffocating 17 inches today. Legroom dropped from a comfortable 31 to 35 inches to as low as 28 inches on some carriers. Airlines literally carved away inches of your personal space and hoped you wouldn't notice. Yet seniors aren't surrendering their wanderlust. Nearly 37% of all travelers in 2023 were over 60, and more than half of older adults rank travel as their absolute top leisure priority. The passion for exploration burns as bright as ever. We just need to reclaim comfort on these flying sardine cans that some experts have compared to park benches for older passengers. Brutal comparison, but accurate. Today, we're counting down 8 secret airplane seat tricks every senior traveler should master to fly in genuine comfort and style. From strategic seat selection to clever booking hacks that airlines desperately don't want you discovering, we're going from number 8 down to the number 1 absolute game changer. Stick around for that top tip. It could seriously upgrade your next trip without spending an extra dollar. The only thing I ask is if you value practical travel intelligence, subscribe to our channel and thumbs up this video. We've got plenty more insider knowledge to share with fellow seasoned travelers who refuse to accept diminishing comfort. Now let's dive into number 8. Let's start with fundamentals, picking the right seat before you even reach the airport. Airlines today have become absolutely notorious for extracting fees from decent seating. In fact, 5 major US carriers made over $3 billion in seat fees during 2023 alone. That's billion with a B, pure profit from passengers who didn't know better or plan ahead. But as a savvy senior traveler, you can completely outsmart these predatory fee schemes. How, you might ask? By booking early and selecting your seat in advance whenever humanly possible. Many airlines still allow you to reserve standard seats completely free at the moment of booking, so jump on that opportunity immediately. By planning strategically ahead, you won't get trapped paying $50 just to avoid the universally dreaded middle seat. Speaking of middle seats, only 2% of travelers actually prefer them. 2%. Who are these mysterious people? As a senior who's earned better treatment, you definitely deserve superior seating. Set a calendar reminder to check in the instant online check-in opens, which is typically 24 hours before departure. Early check-in can grab you any remaining desirable seats for free before the procrastinators and latecomers do. And if you're flying airlines with open seating policies, hello Southwest, leverage your early boarding privileges or check in exactly 24 hours ahead to claim that prime aisle or window position. Staying one strategic step ahead of the airline manipulation means more comfort for you, and more cash staying in your pocket where it belongs. Here's a fun fact, proving your experience. Nearly 94% of Americans over 55 have flown in their lifetime. You've accumulated plenty of sky miles to know exactly what you prefer. Feeling proud about beating their system? Just wait. Coming up next is a sneaky seating gamble that could score you extra space without paying a penny. Let's check out trick number 7. Time for a genuinely clever, high-stakes trick. Ever wish that annoying middle seat next to you would just magically stay empty? Here's a strategic maneuver flight attendants use themselves. If you're traveling with a companion, deliberately book the window and aisle seats in the same row, purposely leaving the middle seat empty. Why this counterintuitive approach? Solo travelers despise middle seats as intensely as we do, so if the flight isn't completely packed, there's a legitimate chance nobody will book that undesirable spot. Congratulations! You've just scored yourselves extra elbow room completely free. It's like winning the airline lottery without buying a ticket. Now for the reality check before you get too excited. Flights today are remarkably packed. US planes flew approximately 86% full on average in 2025, so empty seats are dramatically rarer than they used to be. In the 1970s, flights were only about 50% full. Those spacious days are gone forever, sacrificed to corporate profit margins. Still, even with most seats occupied, if luck favors you, that middle might stay vacant. To boost your odds significantly, book early and grab those window aisle combinations in rows that fill up last. Hint: rear sections or positions near lavatories, spots other passengers actively avoid, and always monitor the seat map as your trip approaches. If someone does claim your middle seat, you can pivot your strategy. Move to another row with an open middle if possible, or politely ask gate agents if any rows are only 2/3 full. They often know which sections are lighter. It's admittedly a bit of a gamble. But for the payoff of stretching out without a stranger invading your personal space, many senior couples report it works about half the time for them. Not bad odds for a completely free comfort upgrade that costs nothing but strategic thinking. Empty middle seats secured or not, what about avoiding those bumpy air pockets that jolt your bones and trigger motion sickness? Up next, we reveal a smooth flying secret at number 6 based on airplane engineering that airlines never mention. Window or aisle, it's the eternal battle of airplane seating preferences. But here's a secret engineering twist most travelers never discover. If you choose a window seat, specifically pick one on the left side of the aircraft. Why does side matter? Believe it or not, aviation experts have documented that left side windows are positioned slightly off-center from the seats due to how planes are constructed, giving you measurably more headrest space to lean against comfortably. In plain English, a left window seat lets you rest your head more naturally without constantly bumping into the wall or waking up with neck pain. Perfect for that mid-flight nap you desperately need, right? Think of it as an accidental engineered advantage nobody talks about. Due to how window alignment works across the fuselage, left-side window seats often feel roomier for your upper body and sleeping position. So next time you're booking, maybe skip seat 1 for F and deliberately choose one for A instead. Your neck and shoulders will thank you profusely after a long flight. And naturally, with a window position, you get that spectacular view and don't have to stand up every single time the person next to you needs the lavatory. It's a genuine win-win situation as long as you don't mind climbing over someone if you need the restroom yourself. Now, a quick health tip for our senior jet setters. If you do choose a window, remember to move around periodically to keep blood flowing properly. We've got to avoid those stiff joints and circulation issues on long flights. But if sleeping comfortably against the wall ranks as your top priority, the left side is the secret sweet spot. This little-known tip came from detailed analysis, proving not all windows are created equal, and veteran frequent flyers swear by it once they discover the difference. Give it a try on your next flight, and you might catch better sleep at 30,000 feet than you ever thought possible. So you've got your preferred side selected, but what about the smoothest seat location on the entire plane? If you dread turbulence, and honestly, who doesn't, this tip is absolutely golden. The smoothest ride on any airplane is typically over the wings, especially in a center seat. Wait, did we just recommend a middle seat? Hear us out completely. The wing area functions like the fulcrum of the airplane. It experiences significantly less up and down motion because it's the center of gravity. So if you're sensitive to every bump and drop, planting yourself near the wing section could transform your flight from a roller coaster into a gentle cruise. Now, we're not demanding you suffer a middle seat if you don't want to. An aisle or window position over the wing will also ride substantially more smoothly than seats at the very back of the aircraft. Folks prone to motion sickness consistently report the middle over wing spot as the calmest location. It's pure physics and engineering working in your favor. Sitting up front in the nose section can also be somewhat calmer and quieter than the tail. Plus, you get off the plane faster during deep planing, so for seniors who get jittery with turbulence or just want a steadier ride that doesn't aggravate your stomach, try to reserve a seat in the middle section of the aircraft. Maybe skip the last row entirely. Those tend to bounce around most dramatically and often don't recline, creating a double whammy of discomfort. Aim for the wing zone instead. Your stomach and your nerves will thank you repeatedly. Does it really make a noticeable difference? Many frequent flyers and even commercial pilots say absolutely yes. Sitting over the wing can dramatically reduce that sickening roller coaster feeling during rough air. Think of it like sitting in the middle of a seesaw versus the extreme end. The middle barely moves while the ends swing wildly. Smooth ride secured through smart positioning. But what about actual legroom? Up next at number 4, we pit aisle versus window in the ultimate battle of comfort, and share a surprising statistic about what seniors overwhelmingly prefer. Time to settle the great debate once and for all. Aisle or window, which is genuinely better? For many senior travelers, the aisle seat reigns supreme as king, and the numbers prove it definitively. In a recent comprehensive survey, 43% of flyers aged 65 and older chose the aisle when flying solo, compared to just 22% of young adults. Why such a dramatically strong aisle preference among older travelers? Simple answer: easy access to move around freely. Stretching your legs or making that inevitable bathroom trip is much simpler when you don't have to climb over people or disrupt the entire row. Health experts frequently recommend aisle seats for long flights specifically so you can walk periodically and keep your blood circulating properly. That becomes increasingly important as we get older, and circulation becomes more of a health concern. But hold on, the aisle isn't all sunshine and extra legroom freedom. One significant downside: you might get bumped repeatedly by the beverage cart or those constantly passing by to lavatories, and you'll be the one doing the standing shuffle whenever your roommates need out. It gets tiresome. Meanwhile, window seats offer spectacular views and a wall to lean against for sleeping, but you're essentially locked in for the entire ride. It's a legitimate trade-off with real pros and cons. Many seniors pick aisle for the freedom to move without asking permission or disturbing others. And honestly, that's an incredibly smart call if you value mobility and comfort over scenery. After a couple hours trapped in your seat, being able to stretch your legs without awkward gymnastics is genuinely priceless. Plus, as we learned from the data, almost half of older travelers are with you on this choice, so you're in excellent company. That said, if you're planning to sleep through most of the flight and not move much, a window, especially on the left side, as we learned earlier, can be cozier. You won't be disturbed by roommates, and you get that spectacular sky-high view. Ultimately, choose what matters more for your specific needs: mobility versus a bit of privacy and uninterrupted rest. If you're enjoying these insider tips, tap that like button and share this video with a fellow traveler. It genuinely helps us reach more people. Now, back to the countdown with number 3. The famous bulkhead and exit row seats, often hyped as the holy grail of airline legroom. It's absolutely true that these spots can offer substantially extra space to stretch your legs comfortably. Bulkhead seats, the first row of any cabin section, have no one reclining into your space and provide lots of open area for your feet. Exit rows can feel like an impromptu free upgrade with that glorious legroom. But here's the reality check: seniors desperately need to know there are significant catches with both options. For bulkheads, yes, you can sprawl out your legs, but you completely lose under-seat storage. All your carry-on items must go overhead, so your book, medications, or sweater won't be accessible at your feet during flight. Also, bulkheads are precisely where airlines often install baby bassinets. Imagine paying extra fees for bulkhead legroom only to spend the entire flight next to a screaming infant. Absolute nightmare scenario. If peace and quiet rank as your goal, think twice about sitting where the adorable but extremely loud little ones might be positioned. Now, exit rows present different complications. First, not every senior may be legally eligible. By federal law, anyone sitting in an exit row must be physically able to assist during emergencies, opening the heavy door, helping passengers evacuate, etc. If you have limited mobility or simply don't want that legal responsibility, skip the exit row entirely. Second, note that on many aircraft, the first exit row doesn't recline at all to keep the evacuation path clear. The insider trick: if a plane has 2 consecutive exit rows, pick the second row. It usually reclines normally and still has that coveted extra legroom. Perfect combination. One more important thing: these seats often cost extra fees or get claimed fast. But if you genuinely need it for legitimate health reasons, say severe arthritis in your knees, try calling the airline directly. They might waive the fee to accommodate your medical needs. It never hurts to ask politely and explain your situation. Legroom is wonderful, but what if you still end up stuck in a mediocre seat despite best efforts? Don't worry. Tip number 2 is all about working some mid-flight magic to swap or upgrade your seat through strategic social skills. Intrigued? Let's move on. So, you didn't get your perfect seat despite planning. Time for Plan B, the polite mid-flight seat swap. As a senior traveler, you might discover fellow passengers are remarkably understanding if you have a legitimate good reason to switch. The key is asking nicely and offering an even trade or better deal. For example, if you're stuck in the middle and desperately need an aisle for stretch breaks due to circulation issues, see if a passenger in an aisle might swap with you. You'd be genuinely surprised at the response. A comprehensive survey found 72% of travelers would switch seats if it means getting an upgrade like an aisle or window for themselves. So, if you can offer someone a comparable or better seat than they currently have, absolutely go for it. It also helps tremendously to mention why you're asking. Most people will happily move to help a senior who says, "Would you mind switching so I can sit with my husband?" Or, "I need an aisle for health reasons, my doctor recommended it." In fact, 83% of travelers over 65 are willing to move to let a parent sit with a child. Kindness and understanding go a long way up there in the friendly skies. Only a grumpy 4% of flyers say they'd refuse any swap request, no matter what the circumstances. So odds are heavily in your favor if you ask politely with a smile. Pro tip, wait until boarding is completely finished, then ask a flight attendant if there are any open seats you might move to. Moving to an empty seat without permission can actually be a safety issue. Weight balance matters on planes. But if you get the official green light, you might score a significantly better spot once everyone's seated and they can see what's available. Flight attendants genuinely appreciate courtesy and politeness. One former attendant revealed that polite passengers who ask nicely might even get a complimentary drink or snack out of it. Now that's a legitimate win-win situation. Bottom line, use your natural charm and good manners. Most folks don't bite, especially when you flash a friendly smile and reasonable request. You've paid for your ticket just like everyone else. So there's absolutely no harm in asking if it'll make your flight more comfortable and enjoyable. You've made it this far and dramatically improved your seating game, but the #1 secret trick is still ahead. It's the ultimate tip every single senior traveler should know to fly in maximum comfort, ready for the grand finale. Here it comes. Drumroll please. The #1 secret is to confidently speak up for your needs before and during your flight. Here's the deal that changes everything. Airlines won't advertise it anywhere. But if you have a medical or mobility need, they will often accommodate you with a better seat, completely free of charge. Do you absolutely need an aisle because of a bad knee or frequent restroom trips? Call the airline ahead and politely request a special seating accommodation based on medical necessity. They can't promise miracles, but many carriers will genuinely try to seat you in a spot that suits your needs, like an aisle or bulkhead, at no extra charge whatsoever. We've personally seen seniors moved to bulkhead rows, extra legroom sections, or closer to the front just by asking nicely and sometimes having a simple doctor's note. Also, don't underestimate those early boarding privileges many airlines offer. Many carriers let older adults or anyone who needs a bit more time board early as a standard accommodation. Take full advantage. You'll have first priority on overhead bin space and can get comfortably seated. Without the stressful crowd pushing past you, on open seating airlines like Southwest, early boarding pretty much guarantees you your absolute pick of any available seat. Another pro move, befriend the flight crew genuinely. A warm smile and a friendly word to the gate agent or cabin crew can sometimes lead to unexpected perks. If there's an unsold premium seat, who knows, they might upgrade the kind grandmother who made their day brighter. Not a guarantee, of course, but goodwill and human connection can go a remarkably long way. At the very least, you might get an extra cookie or beverage. In short, the secret trick is that you have far more power than you think. Airlines do make special accommodations for those who ask the right way with confidence. So use that strong voice you've earned over decades of life experience. Let them know clearly and politely what would make your flight more comfortable. The worst they can say is no. But often you'll find people genuinely happy to help when approached respectfully. And there you have it, the top 8 airplane seat tricks every senior traveler should absolutely master. From scoring more space to picking the perfect spot using physics and psychology, these tips are your ticket to a significantly comfier, happier flight experience. If you learned something new or just enjoyed the journey, hit that like button and subscribe for more travel intelligence. Have your own seating hack or story to share? Drop it in the comments below. We'd genuinely love to hear your experiences and insights. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy travels and smooth skies ahead.